For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome to a special edition of the Focus program. My name is Paul Dingeman. I am on location at Magna plant out on Range Road, and you can see behind me what the announcement they're making today will culminate in, and that is an additional 700,000 square feet to the plant that's already here in St. Clair. It's going to increase the amount of employees. There'll be a total of 1,200 employees over the next year or so. Exciting stuff. We had the opportunity to come out for the press conference, and then we had a chance to talk to Dan Casey and Jeff Bohm. So let's take a look at that right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a really exciting day, and also a pleasure that we're joined by so many people, including Bill Cedar, Mayor of St. Clair, Jen Nelson, MEDC CEO and Customer Experience Officer, Dan Casey, St. Clair EDA CEO, and Jeff Bohm, St. Clair County Commissioner, as we celebrate the groundbreaking of our new expansion. Allow me to take just a few minutes to talk about this operation and what it means within Magna and how our employees epitomize the essence of this company. In February of 21, Magna broke ground right here on this manufacturing facility that we're in today. It's 345,000 square feet facility and has brought more than 300 jobs to the St. Clair County community. It was built to produce complex battery closures for the BT1XX, which includes the GMC Hummer EV. And for those that aren't familiar, a battery enclosure is a large, highly engineered product. They can measure over 8 feet long, 5 feet wide, and contribute to the structural integrity of the vehicle. Manufacturing this product requires a lot of expertise and joining solutions. It's not an easy task. Every EV will have a battery enclosure. This drives more opportunity for Magna. This is why the company continues to invest capital and leveraging our existing know-how and capacity, which leads us here today. Growing our business, our footprint, and making another investment, this time an additional $426 million. Before I pass the microphone over to Mayor Cedar, I would also like to highlight that our success and growth is enabled by foundational strengths, including entrepreneurial, innovative thinking, manufacturing expertise, and at the core of our culture, our people, who share a desire to do the best in everything we do. So thank you to our employees. We have some of the best in this business. Thank you to our local officials and our extended team for all your support, not only welcoming us into this great community, but also helping us grow. Now I'd like to introduce Mayor Cedar to the podium.
This is also very exciting. So for many years, people have been saying, Bill, be patient. Good things come to those who wait. I have to confess, for a while, I was like, I'm beginning to wonder, you know? So it's been a long time, and now here we are standing here and talking about an expansion that'll put Magna over 1 million square feet. So you know that the MEDC announced this morning the $400 million some money's coming to this project, 920 jobs over 3 years. That's amazing. For us to look at these pictures here and the size of this, the scope of this, it's truly an exciting moment for not just the city of St. Clair, county of St. Clair, southeast Michigan. So as you know, this new facility is going to focus on manufacturing battery enclosures. And I have to tell you that I am so fortunate to work with the team that I work with. I have a great city council, and they've been patient and supportive. And some of them are here today, and I want to mention their names. Butch Kinsfider sitting back there, and Mitch Kufa, and Mike Laporte. I also want to mention Chris Paul, and Bill Kleeman, and Micah Voles. And I can tell you that with all the years and all the patience that we've had to have, it appears as though things are really trending up. Another crucial partner certainly is the EDA, the Economic Development Alliance. Dan Casey and his crew, and I can see some out there smiling. They just do a great job, and they're so supportive of St. Clair. We appreciate that. We're honored to be here with Jen Nelson from the MEDC, Chief Operating and Customer Experience Officer. And with that in mind, I get to introduce Jen. So if Jen would come up here and she can take over. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Magna, thank you very much. Andy, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the MEDC, we want to congratulate the entire Magna team on your continued growth and success in Michigan. We are grateful to Governor Whitmer and our state legislators for continuing to support our economic development programs. And we're very appreciative of our strong partnership with Dan Casey and his team at the Economic Development Alliance and our other local partners, cities, and municipalities. We look forward to working together with Magna in leading the way into the future of transportation. These investments will continue our economic momentum as a state. It's been a big year, and we've covered a lot of ground here in Michigan. Today's efforts build upon our position as a global leader in the future of mobility and vehicle electrification. From Ford and GM to Goshen, Our Next Energy, and now Magna, these key industry investments will create good jobs and economic opportunity for Michiganders for years to come. Michigan is evolving the automotive industry to stay at the forefront of innovation and ensure the future of mobility and electrification starts right here. Looking ahead to 2023 and beyond, we are committed to remaining competitive and building momentum to be leaders of the future. And thank you again, and congratulations to the entire Magna team for this announcement and this expansion. It's just wonderful news for the state. Thank you. And now I would like to welcome Dan Casey, the CEO of the EDA, to the podium. Dan?
So my speech is so long, I'm going to have to turn the page, so I apologize for that in advance. So first, I just want to say how gratifying it is to be here today, and thank you to all of you for coming. This represents a lot of hard work and challenges that were overcome. These projects are not easy. There's a lot of data. There are a lot of challenges that come in front of us that have to be overcome in order to win a project like this. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity to finally be here to present the project to all of you. And if I'm grinning ear to ear, it's because I'm excited for the future. I hope all of you are too. This project means so much to so many people. Some of you are in this room today. It will create a lasting impact in the community, and it's also going to spur other developments in the future. Furthermore, manufacturing projects have a multiplier effect of 3 to 1 in the local economy. This project will result in more than 920 jobs. That's the bottom line. The $426 million investment can be expected to triple over time due to new projects occurring in residential construction, retail, commercial, and other industrial projects. in the region. Some will be in St. Clair County, some will be in Macomb County or other areas of southeastern Michigan, but they will come, and we as a region will benefit. The talented members of the EDA team work hard to attract great companies like MEVS to the county. And I want to offer my thanks to each member of the team. I see some of them back there in the back for your contribution to this project and all of the other projects that we have the pleasure of working on in the county. I'd also like to thank two other special people from Magna, one that's in the room today, which is Andy Haraski, and the other being Jim Colson, who worked with us early on the real estate. And I'm happy to say that they made the right decision to invest in St. Clair County. There were other sites that were under consideration for this project. We had to win it. Just like any other project, any attraction, we had to put our best foot forward, provide the correct information that was needed to land the project. There were many partners that were involved, that rallied around the team to help make this happen. Some of them are in the room today. I'm just going to mention a couple of names, but there's many of them. But Semco Energy was one, DTE was another, and the St. Clair County Road Commission all had important roles to play in making this project happen. And this is how big and complicated projects come together. It's in collaboration with many other partners. So in this economy, with the tight labor force across the state and in the region, it's going to be a challenge to fill 920 jobs. I'm sure someone in this room probably wondered about that. EDA has strong partnerships with Michigan Works, who is here today, with RISA, with St. Clair County Community College, and with other organizations upon which we rely to assist us in filling jobs and training the talented people in the community. EDA will be redoubling its efforts to attract talent to the area. We've been working on this for a couple of years. We've had success. Last year we conducted a project with a consultant to evaluate our talent attraction programs, and from that resulted a roadmap. And we've been implementing the roadmap this year quite successfully, but we have a long way to go, and this project will certainly give us opportunities to do more of that in the future. We're also going to require more single-family home construction and apartments and condominiums. But this is what growth looks like, and we're already well on our way. So I'm confident we will meet and exceed MEVS's needs for talent for this project. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jeff Bohm, who is the chairman of the county's Board of Commissioners.
Congresswoman, I see you got in here 5 minutes late. What did they used to tell you? If you're not 15 minutes early for work, you're late, but you're a little bit higher up the food chain than I am, so I'll let you slide. Yeah, doesn't happen a lot, So first off, my name's Jeff Bohm. I'm the county board chairman. I've been on the board for 18 years, board chairman for 12 years. And today we're here to celebrate the expansion of Magna. And Dan touched on it earlier. There's really two people that I have to give a little shout out to. Andy's in the room and Jim Colson. Because early on in this project, a couple of years ago, we got an opportunity to meet these guys during the height of COVID. And yes, Mike Laporte might have opened up the Voyager restaurant to let us go in there, but that's a couple of years ago. So we've had lots of conversations. Projects like this is a big project. 10.5-month turnaround on this project, right? This was a cornfield. And to be able to do what we did and had to expedite that is nothing short of a miracle. And I'd like to think that our hard efforts are the reason we're being rewarded for this today. I've gotten to know a lot of people in this room here through Magna. You talk about the investment, 3-to-1, Dan, investment return. I think it's 12-to-1 at Warwater, just for the record. So I don't know if Chris, oh, there he is right there. 12-to-1 return at Warwater. That's Chris Paul, the owner. He just walked in the door as I said that. So economic development, I'm going to use some analogies just because it's around baseball World Series time. And yes, Mike, we're still grieving over the loss of the Padres.
As many of you know, big Padres fan, and the second baseman for the Padres is from St. Clair, kid Jake Cronenworth, so a lot of people got an opportunity to follow him. In baseball, you get out a lot, right? You fly out, you ground out, you strike out. Every so often, you get a hit. Every so often, you get a double, triple, occasional home run. This here is the bottom of the ninth, Game 7 of the World Series. You're down by 3. Somebody's got to step up and do it. And who stepped up? Team St. Clair, County, EDA, County, Road Commission, City Planning. I was there in '84 when Gibby hit it out over the Goose. It's been since '84 since Tigers, so we're not going to analogy the Tigers. But today, we hit a home run to win Game 7 of the World Series. And I'd just like to thank the people from Magna for choosing us here in St. Clair County. So, yes, we'll be at the Voyager later, popping champagne, pouring champagne all over us, so, come on down. 2 things I focus on in St. Clair County, jobs and tax base. There's 2 stories I want to share with you. I'm not going to mention any names on the first one. I know a young man that got a job here. He actually came in, starting wage for his position was $4 more an hour at Magna. He had experience. They started him at $6 more than he was making his previous employment. They did a wage study. He's at $7.34. I just had to call to confirm it. He's got a family of 5, and his insurance is a lot better than it was. This place has created a $500 to $700 a week change in that young man's life. That is huge. I cannot even begin to tell you how big that is. The other one that we talk about is trying to bring our college kids home. How do we get our youth home? How do we do that? Magna recently hired somebody I know, a Grand Valley graduate, works in human resources, worked downtown, loves St. Clair, wanted to come back to St. Clair. She got hired here. How I know that story? It's my best friend's daughter, Haley Dragashano. I know Haley started with you, so kudos for giving the opportunity to be able to bring these young kids home. And I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart, seriously. So that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to Greg.
As Jeff said, those stories are what we live for. We come in every day and we look at what we've done in this community and what this community's done for us. We can't thank the community enough for welcoming us and supporting us to build this expansion. I'm excited for what we've got ahead of us, and I'm excited by the team that we're building, and I'm proud, and I thank everybody that supported us getting here. So I appreciate everybody coming today. We're going to wrap up today's session with a groundbreaking ceremony, a shovel ceremony just outside. So if you could join us out there, we'll get a couple of pictures and we'll wrap all the events up for today. So thanks again for coming. We appreciate you letting us show off a little bit of our facility, and we appreciate our team for supporting us in this important announcement. So thanks everyone for coming. So the shovel ceremony is just going to be out the sidewalk.
Well, that was quite a press conference, and exciting things are certainly happening in St. Clair County. We had the opportunity now to sit down and get some more information about what is happening with this wonderful development from 2 integral parts of it, and that is the chairman of the board of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Jeff Bohm, and Mr. Dan Casey from the Economic Development Alliance. Gentlemen, thanks for coming over after the press conference, and let's review what just happened.
So we made an announcement about one of the largest projects we've seen in our county in about the last 15 years.
Probably ever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. Yeah, and you know, the DTE power plant was a pretty big announcement too, but
Right.
this project will create a lot of jobs that will feed a lot of families for many years to come, and it's going to be, you know, a really important facility in our county that'll generate a ton of tax revenue for communities, and the company's already up and running. It's the Magna Electric Vehicle Structures is the name of the company. We just call them Magna, one of the biggest automotive suppliers in the world. So we're really happy to make that announcement after a lot of work.
Well, Mr. Bohm knows that this thing goes back over 20 years when a young man by the name of Pat Sullivan put together some land with St. Clair Township and came up with an industrial park, and then it sat there. And through a lot of work of you guys and other people, it now finally has come to fruition.
Yeah, it was, as you well pointed, that was 20 years in the making. I know,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes the previous city councils got a lot of flack for it, you know, like it's sitting there, what's happening, what's going on. I can tell you that that was not due to lack of efforts of marketing. That project, since I've been on the county board, 18 years, board chairman for 12, we have been number 2 on that 3 different times that I could think of, right? Number 2. So you get there right to the finish line, right to the finish line. And same with this project. This kind of first came out and there were 28 submittals, 30 some odd submittals. So, okay, here's this project. As these things happen, number one, we're fortunate we had a lot of information on this piece of property because it had been submitted so many different times.
Right.
And that's what the public doesn't understand. Dan Casey's agency pushed and promoted and really worked hard on this thing to get this thing to fruition. And I guess if you look at what is actually coming today, as you've probably well heard today at the announcement, an additional 740,000 square foot that will push that building to 1.2 million square feet with 1,200 jobs. And I can tell you, we have seen a list of those jobs, very technical on some of those ends, very high paying, just a complete home run. I can't even, like you said, the Edison, from an investment standpoint, yes, that is bigger, that's $1 billion. This is just short of $500 million. But Edison, this isn't throwing stones by any means, they don't employ 1,200 people.
Right.
1,200 people that are essentially going to be in your community, restaurant, bars, services, housing,
Right.
you name it, it's there. It is. And I've, like I said, in 18 years, ZF, Edison, this is top 3 all day long in a really, really long time. Kudos to Dan's organization because worked very hard. And even with that first phase, Paul, to expedite that 10.5 month turnaround. It was a cornfield, as many people will remember.
Yep.
10.5 months, upstanding, running, employment, you know, so on and so forth. And truthfully, all of our hard work, that's the reason we're getting this addition, expansion, you know. We are being rewarded because of the efforts of city officials, county officials, EDA, and showed these guys proofs in the pudding that we could make it happen, and we have. And if you even talk to the guys at Magna, they'll sing our praises too for us. So just you get base hits in this world, you get doubles, you get some. Then I was thinking about this today. This is the bottom of the 9th, Game 7 of the World Series. You're down by 3. There's 2 outs, and you hit the grand slam
You get the
to
grand
win,
slam.
and that's like this is a so.
It's going to change the community a little bit. It's going to make it a positive. They've made a positive impact on the community already. Magna is very involved in community things.
Sponsor our boat races, their title sponsor, and they do a lot of the other things, and you're going to continue to, I think, see that for a very long period of time. There's two stories that I'd like to share with you because I think this kind of is a good explanation of kind of the company that they are. So, I know a young man that works over there. He's a welder. He was making $18 an hour previous at his other job, and I know his father-in-law really well, and he said it looked like he used to, you know, crawl in a coal mine and come out, right? Mm-hmm. His starting wage on this position was 22. He had experience. They started him at 24. Less than 90 days in, they found the pay was underpay. They bumped him to 25.34. That's what he currently makes today. I just talked to him to just verify his story, so I'm not talking out of turn. Young man, married, 2 children. He's got great Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I think he's told me he pays $50 a week. That is a $500 to $700 a week change in that young man's and that family's
Absolutely
life.
amazing.
That is huge. And then another story, you always want to bring your kids home, college, right?
Yeah,
Talent and jobs and so on and so forth. My very best friend, Dan Dragosciano, his daughter was working downtown Detroit at a company in HR. A young lady graduated from Grand Valley, wanted to get back to the area, and she now landed a job at Magna, and it's like a 3-minute drive to work because they live right in the Highlands. And there's another great example of having jobs, opportunities to bring that young talent and stuff, and and Haley wants to stay in the community and get rooted and do all that other stuff. So those are just two stories you need to share and you need to hear to understand the impact of what this is. And that's just 2 people that I know, and there's 1,200 jobs. There's probably going to be 900 of those stories, right? So just man, I'm still smiling.
EDA has been around for a long time. Probably started with the plastics industry, didn't it? Earlier.
Well, we started in 1952.
52. Okay.
Right, as the Industrial Development Council, and at that time we were working to establish an industrial park in the city of Port Huron. So that's how we got our start, and back at the beginning of 1990 is when we made the transition to countywide. So and that's what we've been doing ever since.
And the plastics industry came along, and you were instrumental in getting lots of new companies there. And then now, as things have changed, you've gone ahead and put plants out in K-Pac and Yale and everywhere else. You're all over the county.
Yeah, well, I think what's important about this project is that this company's in the mobility sector. That's the new buzzword that everybody calls automotive these days. It's mobility, which is meant to reflect the change that's happening in the industry with electric vehicles, or EV. So mobility is directly tied to that transition into electric vehicles. That's what this plan is going to be supporting, developing battery enclosures for electric vehicles. Battery enclosures are the underbody of the car. It used to be that they would just make these trays that the batteries would sit in, but now it's literally the whole bottom of the car. So that's what they'll be making for different models on the road. And what's really exciting about it is it's highly automated. So they have in the current plant over 300 robots, and they have other automated systems as well. So the skill set has had to change. And it's really a reflection of what's happening in the manufacturing industry in general, where more robotics, more automation is being introduced as a way to offset the fact that we're short on labor, number one. And secondly, you can create some cost efficiencies that way. So this project is really exciting because it really brings to the forefront the need for those kind of training programs in our schools and in college, and creating a pipeline of talent to fill those jobs. And so one of the things that's really exciting about Magna is that they have a nationwide program with all of their many, many facilities that starts with kids in middle school, introduces them to the manufacturing environment. Then they bring those young people in to work in the plant in internships and job shadows and different work experience opportunities. And their goal is that would lead toward direct employment with the company when they graduate from high school. And so I know we want everybody going to college.
Right.
And there's good reasons for that. But these automation jobs pay really, really well. You don't incur the college debt.
Yep.
You have the ability to move up.
Yep.
Right, into other more highly skilled positions. Some of these young folks can eventually become plant managers, engineers, a wide variety of things. So this is what we have in our community now. I think it's going to reshape kind of our manufacturing environment in St. Clair County. It'll create competition amongst some of our other manufacturers to also automate, to try to keep up, which is a good thing because wages will go up. The skill levels of the people working in these facilities will go up, and it makes them more competitive in the marketplace.
One thing about this plant, 2 things that sticks out. Number one, this is a direct spin-off of General Motors' investment in the Lake Orion plant. If you saw, they invested a lot of money over in Lansing and Lake Orion. As Dan alluded, the trays, which they use, this original plant was made just to run for the Hummer. And it's a big piece, it's a big component. It's like the frame, the undercarriage. This
as
is
big
the
as this
same
desk.
platform that is actually used in all the new trucks and everything else that General Motors is rolling out.
Oh, so it's just not the Hummer.
Just not the Hummer. Yes, so this thing is going to be used, I think they told me originally 60,000 units. Now they're looking upwards of 500,000. So that's, why the increase. But, and it's the latest and greatest, that's the other thing that I think probably a lot of people kind of underestimate, because sometimes you're getting in an industry that's already been around 15 years. Oh man, does that have another 5 years, 10 years before it runs a course? This is cutting edge, like I said, brand new. I've got an opportunity to know a lot of those people in that plant, from Russia, from Brazil, from Poland, from India. I mean, these guys are from all over the place. And when you talk to these guys, and they're all big jobs, they're all engineering type of jobs, they want to be part of the new EV, latest and greatest, and everything else. So when you walk away from there, now I'm like, wow, we're really onto something.
Yeah.
So very.
Had an opportunity to meet the general manager and plant manager and interview him, and he lives in Sarnia, but he's been with the company 20 years, and he just raves about employment with Magna. Great guy.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Well, Magna's a Canadian company, right?
Exactly.
So, based in Aurora, Canada is their headquarters. So, but they have facilities all over North America. They have at least 26 facilities in Michigan alone.
In Michigan.
Just in Michigan.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, it's too bad you two guys aren't excited.
Remember, it's the bottom of it's Game 7 of the World Series, Paul, and we knocked it out of the
You
park.
both
man.
did it.
Kudos
Congratulations. A
kudos
lot of
to
work, and the
everybody.
work does not stop.
Part
Let's
of
know
that team. People don't
right.
realize the behind the scenes to facilitate 10 and a half months. You get the phone calls. Hold on, let me get a hold of so and so. Like kudos to our road commission. Like I said, Dan's organization, City of St. Clair, fantastic to work with the expedite. Everybody understood the significance of it, and truthfully, in our world, when we sit down with the next Magnas of the world, let's say, or whomever it is, we don't have to tell our story, because we're all kind of selling the same thing, right? I'm going to say, you know what? Here's 3 phone numbers I'm going to give you.
Give 'em a call.
You call those guys and see what they say about us.
Yeah.
That's so big to have.
Historic. That's what it is. It's historic.
Yeah.
You guys can be
We'll
very
take
proud.
5 more just like it.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Pretty exciting things happening for St. Clair. Lots of new employment, lots of new opportunities for homes and apartments and condos, et cetera, et cetera. We're glad that you were along for this press conference, and that's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.